Hello, this is Patch, and once again I am playing Battle Realms. I'm looking to just show off some of the things of this game that really seems underloved. I played it when I was young, when I was a teenager, just getting into real-time strategies. It was produced in 2001. This is what I played before Warcraft 3 came out, so it's got a very dear place in my heart. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play it for many years because it wasn't compatible with Windows 7, Windows Vista.
Serpent.
But now I've got a chance to play it, and I absolutely love playing it. So I'm just going to showcase what it can do. If you didn't see my other video where I played the Dragon Clan, I'd recommend watching that video as well. It showed off a lot more of the basics of the game, whereas this one I'm just going to focus specifically on the Serpent Clan, rather than explaining some of the basic stuff like the resources, the building, and the training system. If you like this video, I'd recommend checking this game out if you ever can get the chance. It works perfectly fine on Windows 8. And it's a really great game, or at least I think so. So like I said, right now I'm playing the Serpent Clan. Serpent Clan, you could say, is the second of the 4 clans. Specifically, these guys are the more underhanded and the low-life type team, the low-life type clan. All their stuff is themed to be thieves and bandits and the less glamorous type people. For example, where the Dragon Clan has a dojo, which produces trained and drilled spearmen, the Serpent Clan has a tavern, which they get swordsmen. It reflects both in the cost of the buildings, where the tavern, I believe, is cheaper than the dojo, and also in the units, where the spearman is better than the swordsman, although that comes down to something slightly different. See, there are actually attack types in the game, which do actually have a large influence. The spearman has a piercing attack, whereas the swordsman has a cutting attack, which allows the spearman to do just that little bit extra damage, which makes him just that little bit better. So right now I'm going to go for a Sharpshooters Guild. A Sharpshooters Guild produces Crossbowmen. Crossbowmen are actually a little bit weaker than archers, which, fair enough, that's just balance.
Yes, sir.
This comes down to mostly archers do larger portions of damage, whereas crossbowmen do shorter, quicker attacks. However, crossbowmen are once again stronger in close range, just because they have that piercing attack. But really, when you're when your ranged units are in close range, you're sort of probably doing it wrong. That's not where you want them to be. So,
moving master.
Archers probably better than crossbowmen, just overall.
Yes.
If you send your swordsman from the tavern into the Sharpshooters Guild, he becomes a bandit, once again reflecting the nature of this team. They're sort of the yin to the yang of the dragon. The dragon are all about honor, regimen, things like that, whereas the Serpent Clan are clearly meant to be that rough, sort of rough and tough type, roguish clan. It's explained in the story to a degree. Specifically, the Dragon Clan was once the mighty clan of the people, but they broke apart when a great event happened. It's explained very early on, in the, like straight away in the story. I would definitely recommend playing the campaign. I plan to do it myself one day. I will be doing a let's play of that down the line, but right now I just wanted to showcase what each team can do. So now I've got a musketman. A musketman of most starting units, of tier 1 ranged units, a musketman is probably one of the best. That just comes down to they've got really high damage, and it's a good damage type. It's explosive. There are 6 damage types in the game, and they've got explosive. Explosive is good because not many units are resistant to it. It's really good against especially big units like the Ronin and Samurai themselves.
Of course.
I'll be going for a Ronin right now, sending this bandit into the Alchemist Hut to become a Ronin. So bandits have a cutting attack and a piercing attack as ranged. There, once again, a lot of units have a melee and ranged attack, forced into using a melee attack when engaged up close. A bandit in this case has a crossbow on his arm and some sort of a sickle, I think that is, on his in his hand, which is his cutting weapon. Now I'm going to put this musketman in the tower because musketmen, or musketeers as the game calls them, are just incredible for damage.
As you say.
You probably notice I'm mostly getting bandits. That's for a good reason. Bandits are strong. Bandits are a very good, reliable, just melee unit. However, there is one problem with this team. At tier 2, they have 2 ranged units. This isn't uncommon, but one of their ranged units is very, very niche. It's called the Raider. I'll actually get a few of them later, just for demonstrating what they do. They're
Yes,
actually,
my lord.
they can be pretty fun, but the problem is
Moving,
they serve a
master.
purpose of solely, how to put it,
Let's break
they
some
burn
heads.
buildings, they set buildings on fire, they're good in small groups of 4, but they're incredibly weak in combat. When you put them in combat, they suddenly just cannot contribute. So right now I'm getting a bathhouse, like the Dragon Clan. The Serpent have a bathhouse which produces geisha. The geisha can heal like the Dragon Clan. There's only the Wolf Clan that doesn't have a unit
The
like
pursuit
that.
continues.
But they make up for it in other ways, which I'll get to when I get to them.
Yes,
So right now you need the bathhouse to get the town square, which just raises your
Sir.
resource limit,
Yes,
and that
my
allows
lord.
you to get a lot of late game units, like
Our work is not done.
late game buildings like the Necromancer's Throne and the Keep. In this run, I'm hoping to get the Necromancer's Throne before the game ends. I should usually be able to win before that
course,
happens,
sir.
but we'll see. So I'm going to get the
Moving,
town hall,
master.
town square. Town square does 2 things actually. It provides you a higher resource cap, and it also provides you more towers, up to 2 more towers. You start with being able to build 1 tower. Getting the town square lets you build 2 more. And getting the keep allows you to build a final tower.
With great haste.
Just need to focus
Yes,
on getting
sir.
some more units to contribute to my army.
It shall be done.
Now, a few other benefits here. For a start, the bandit, they can pilfer a dead body just so they can collect a little bit extra resources. The Ronin, when they die, they cause a small duration of sort of a
Yes,
curse
Lord.
for nearby enemy units, which weakens them. You can see it as like a red ring around them. So right now I'm just building up, waiting for whatever attack the enemy is going to try and make against me. I should be able to repel it pretty easy,
Yes, my lord.
but it always pays to be prepared. So I'm going to have a few
Moving,
towers.
master.
This is a very good map for it. Freedom is the map name.
Point and
It's
shoot.
a standard mono a mono. It's a pretty straight run from one side to the other, each other's bases. There's only one real rice patch for each side. It's a very straightforward map, definitely
course,
a good
sir.
thing for a good first try.
I obey.
As
my
another map I recommend is Wheeler's Canyon. That's a nice 6-player map where you start very close to the enemy. It can encourage a lot of early game play to stop later game strategies, or it just is a very fun, well-rounded map, I think. So up into the tower goes my crossbowman, my musketeer, sorry, and I'm going to get a Thieves Guild.
Moving, master.
And that Thieves Guild is a requirement for the Necromancer's Throne, but the Thieves Guild also serves to give bonus abilities to the units. So here comes the enemy's first attack. They're trying to set a little ambush up there and lure me over, but I'm not going to fall for it. I'm just going to stay here and wait for them to come in on me, and then I'm going to engage under my tower. Why? Because my tower has an ability which blinds the enemies for a split second. Also because it means my tower is contributing to the battle.
Aggression.
And as you can see, my Ronins are making short work of these enemies. And I'll just wait for them to go down so I can demonstrate the bandits' ability. Now they're all dead, I just select the bandits and I
Let's
order
go.
them to loot the corpse. And as you can see, they'll duck down, they'll pick up some resources. Yeah, I don't know if they picked up much. Sometimes if the corpse fades too fast, they don't actually pick it up. Better go back to producing units.
Great
Got a
haste.
few stocked up and waiting.
Yes, sir.
So, now I've got this crossbowman, I'm going to send him into the alchemist
On
hut
my
to become a
toes.
cannoneer. Cannoneers are good tower destroying units. They're good
All
building
in the
destroyers.
plan.
However, when you've got raiders to compare them to, I personally prefer the raiders. However, cannoneers also come with a really cool ability, which you can get from the metal shop. So I'm going to get the metal shop now, just so I can demonstrate that in a minute. Because it's something I really like. I'm actually also
Yes.
going to start getting raiders. So there's lots of units queued up at the alchemist hut. And I'll just let them queue up on their own time. So
Our
what can we
work
get
is
from the
not done.
Thieves Guild? Well, for a start, we can get stealth for the bandits. Stealth obviously allows your bandits to go invisible for a short amount of time. The cost is stamina. And for Ronin, you can get Blood Bond, which allows for one of the most broken combinations in the game. Specifically, you take a Ronin, give him Blood Bond, and then you make a Geisha. You give that Geisha the Blood Bond effect. So all damage the Ronin takes is shared with the Geisha.
Okay.
And what happens is you leave a pool of your Geisha around your rice field or just somewhere safe, and then you put your Ronin straight on the front line, fight with them. All damage that is dealt to the Ronin is shared with the Geisha, so the Ronins take severely reduced damage,
With great
and it
haste.
overall allows
Yes,
your
my lord.
Ronin
Quick
to
and
take
sure.
more hits, and win fights better. And then your geishas can just stand there and heal each other and keep each other alive. If you're playing casually, that's pretty strong. There's not much you can do against that, except beat your opponent down before they can do it, or try some sort of hit and run to try and take out their geishas before they build up, or just strike them while they're vulnerable.
Hunt our enemy.
But if you get in a straight fight with the Ronins, you're in a lot of trouble.
Let's have some
So here I've got a
fun.
couple of cannoneers, and I'm going to send them into this metal shop to get
On
some...
target.
Oh, no, I've got a fight on my hands.
The serpent.
So the enemy's going to come in, and I'm just going to flash tower them, and that'll blind them. So the units can't attack while they're blinded, they'll just stand there, unless they're attacked first. But it's okay, I can repel this pretty much straight away,
break
and
some
pilfer this
heads.
corpse. I have too much water. I think I've got 2 guys, yeah, I'll stop one of these guys from getting the water, it doesn't really need it. I've got enough to get that by a long shot.
Great haste.
I mostly want rice, I think I've got 4 guys on rice. Can I build a hut over here? No, I can't. There's no clear room, but that's okay. So now I've got 2 raiders. I'm looking to get about 4. 4 is the optimal amount for me, I personally think. 4 raiders allows you to basically instantly set a house on fire.
As you say.
Any building on fire, actually. See, there's different stages of fire, so to speak. It just works its way up based off how much you've hit it with fire attacks. And when it's fully on fire and flaming, towers burn down incredibly fast. So as you noticed, I'm not getting horses. That's because I'm not really investing in horses. I'm trying to rush up in resources to get this necromancer's throne. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm going to send one of these cannoneers to get the mines, which will slow me down, but that's how it works. So I've got 3 raiders, and this will be my 4th.
Fire it up.
So you can come get me some rice. So here we go. Okay, so first I'll put some mines. Just lie them around here, because this seems to be the enemy's main focus point for attack right now. I guess this is where they see me vulnerable. So I'm just going to run him over.
Load it up.
Place a mine. Thump.
Armed and dangerous.
Just
Load it
move
up.
up. Put another mine over here. Thump.
Quick and sure.
Now I think mines are potentially
On target.
really great if you can get a chance to use them. Oh shoot, the enemy's coming from the south. This is actually a very clever plan of theirs.
Take it.
But first I'm just going to blind them, and once again that's going to stop this guy from attacking. My army's going to come in, and it's going to be solved. But here we go. Now you can see the tower on fire. It's not actually on fire all that badly yet. So I'm just going to get this peasant,
Of course,
go
sir.
put that out. And as you can see, the red ring around my troops from that Ronin dying, the enemy Ronin. The reason I'm playing against another Serpent team is just for the sake of showcasing all that Serpent can do on both aspects. And the tower is out, so we're safe.
Moving, master.
Now one thing to be wary of, oh I can get the key, but I'll go for the Necromancer's Throne because I just think it looks better. One thing to be wary of is 1 bucket of water doesn't quite put a tower out. If you leave a building burning,
Fire it up.
it will just go down. So here's the raiders, utterly useless in melee combat, but just look how fast they are. They're just running like free.
Fire
These
it
are
up.
great to have 1 or 2 in an army
now.
if you think you can distract the enemy. And what you
Can
do
I
is you
burn
run
something?
up, just throw a bunch of
Fire it
torches,
up.
set a building on fire,
Going.
and then you run away.
Fire it out. Going.
Because they can just
Right now.
outrun anything. Assuming you can get them to run.
Fire it out.
Which I'm struggling to do because I keep clicking too
Okay.
much.
Can I burn something?
So I'm actually going to take these 2 guys and I'm going to make them into Ronin because really I don't need the cannoneers. I'll place the last mine.
Point the way.
I'll place it down to the south just in case
On
they try that
target.
again.
Smoking.
Clearly they knew what I was doing,
Point the
reinforcing the top side. So I'm just going to place that there. Thump.
Quick and sure.
So that should help me
Hunt
defend
our
if any
enemy.
enemies decide to take a chance. So now I'm also just saving up for a keep. Actually, I have plenty of
master.
resources. I shouldn't be too worried about that in the future. So what other abilities can we get? So right now we can get paralysis bolts for the bandits, which allows them to just stun enemies. 1 enemy at a time, of course, and there's a limited number of that. The metal, and then the yin blade for the Ronin, which allows you to build up yin much faster. Yin is obviously for upgrades. So I've got that necromancers. Deal with that in a
my
moment.
lord.
Firstly, I need a geisha. So I've got 3 Ronin.
All
I'll be
in the
sending them in
plan.
soon. So the other trick with raiders is you can get either... Oh, here we go. Enemies coming in. Will they step on my mine? Doesn't look like it. I should be able to repel this. I have an unfortunately large amount of raiders. That's burning, so I need to send a guy to put that out before it goes down. Oh, I lost one of my Ronin. But there isn't no rest for the wicked. Oh, so this is like the worst state of being on fire for a building. The flames are really high, and when a tower explodes, the unit falls off and takes damage. That's really unfortunate.
Sir.
That's okay, I can always rebuild it. So I've still got 3 Ronin.
Serpent.
So you go be trained. You can collect the water again. Have a geisha, I'll just bring her over here.
serpent.
It's almost always worth getting the Art of Love or the symbol upgrade for whatever team you're playing, which allows you to heal more frequently. Heals are just so important. They give you such strength in battles. If you go into battle, I'll probably go into if I wasn't going for the Necromancer, I'd actually use a team like this for battle. I've got a nice front line of samurai, I've got a nice back line of shooters, and I've got a nice group of soldiers to just rush around the sides, causing trouble. Usually what I do is I just bull rush the enemies with my group of bandits and Ronin to just engage them, and meanwhile I run my raiders just all over the place, setting things on fire and avoiding fighting with them. You can usually get a good 3 or 4 buildings on fire, and if you can just take down one of the main 3 production buildings like this, you can set the enemy back so severely that you just get a huge lead. So what else can we get? We can get, for the musketmen, we can get sniper scopes, which increase the damage and range of them. However, that stops them from moving. And then you can get the blast shot, which is just no explosive area of effect. Oh, here they come in again. That was the mine going off just there, if you saw it. Okay, this is something you never want. You never want your geishas fighting. That's the paralysis bolt effect on my Ronin for a moment there.
Yes.
You honestly never want a geisha fighting. While this geisha can beat another geisha, the dragon geisha in combat, you never want your geisha trying to beat their geisha in a fight. It's just never a good position to have. So I've repelled that. I'm just going to step back. I've got 4 Ronin now. I'm just going to gather them up, and I'm going to send them into the Necromancer's throne. Normally you can see the 4 footsteps where they all just stand. 2, 3, 4, and out comes the Necromancer. Now this guy is a really cool addition to your team. He's really kind of, I wouldn't say he's cost effective because you are spending 4 Ronin to get him, but he's a very valuable asset. Now as you can see, he's got an ability. For a start, I'll just talk about the unit himself, Triangle Chest here. He does magic damage with his melee hits, which is a big help. It just means not many units are that defensive against magic damage. It's a pretty good, reliable type, but some units are extremely defensive against it. It just depends what you come up against. There are charts online if you can hunt them down. I'd recommend looking up the Battle Realms Wikipedia wiki, which does have the charts on it in the images somewhere. I can't remember which specific page. But yes, and what the Necromancer can do is summon up to 3 Spirit Warriors. These Spirit Warriors are just expendable, essentially. You can have up to 3 out at a time. They're free, except for some stamina. Just invaluable. And then, additionally, you can, when the Necromancer is near a corpse, he can cause a zombie to rise. And that's just another easy source of units just to back your army up. Now the enemy's actually been throwing their forces at me for a while now, so they're probably not too strong. I don't know, I could be wrong, they could be very strong right now and I could just be mistaken. So I'm just going to get... one thing I would like to discuss is the upgrades you can get for various units. Oh, but first we've got another battle on our hands. We need to get this geisha away, so I'm just going to pull her back. I'm going to send the Necromancer in. As he walks past, he's just going to raise that zombie. See, this is what I mean. Spirit Warriors are just excellent frontliners. Just going to walk him in. My bandits can just pilfer some corpses. You can come become some soldiers.
As you
And now I've got these zombies. Zombies deteriorate over time. They're not that great, but they're just extra free soldiers that you get as the battle goes on. And it helps give you an advantage overall. So I'm going to try and rebuild a tower over here just to try and deter the enemy from attacking from this angle. I don't know why they keep doing
Yes,
it.
master.
Gotta stop your geishas from healing the zombies as well. They love to chase the zombies down. So, what else? So yeah, upgrades was what I was talking about. So there's actually a few upgrades
Serpent
for raiders
Clan.
to actually benefit them, if you're willing to invest the time. There's a great way to give them more health, great way to give them, makes the torches go further, and a way to give them more damage. Additionally, the abilities for raiders are actually quite good. You've got a brush fire, which burns all trees or rice nearby if you've got pesky trees blocking your vision, or if you just want to sabotage your opponent's rice collection. And then there's caltrops, and they can pick up caltrops and they just drop them behind them as they run when you activate the
my
ability.
sights,
And it's a
that
good way
causes
to
trouble. It shall
run
be
in,
done.
set something on fire, and run away before your opponent can react.
Yes, my lord.
And as they're chasing you, you drop the caltrops,
The pursuit
and the enemy just
continues.
walks over them and burns, and takes heaps of damage. At least that's what
Yes,
you try
sir.
to do. Is there any unit I've really missed? No, I've got the Raider, I've shown the Cannoneer. Cannoneer I don't particularly like, because obviously I think the Raider just does the job better. I haven't really showcased that, but as range unit goes, I believe the muskets do more damage,
Yes.
and as building destroyers, I just
Yes,
prefer the
my
Raiders
servant.
personally. Find out what you like, try it out, experiment. So a few other things while I'm just building up my final attack
will
force.
pay.
I'll just set this to auto, so my troops automatically
It
follow
shall
the
be
same
done.
path.
Yes.
I'll first just look at the hold positions, or the different commands you can give them. So there's firstly passive mode. This will have a unit stand still, and they will refuse to attack until they attacked in melee range. This includes they will not range attack. Then there is stand ground, where they will use range attacks, and they will reply if enemies attack them, but they will not move. The difference between that is passive mode. When they're attacked, they will actively chase an opponent attack. It's just the different ways to make your units stand still, as every unit passively
course,
heals
sir.
and regains health over time. And so you just want to ensure that your units are healing as efficiently as possible. You don't want them to be standing there. It especially matters if you've just had a close fight and you need your units back in good health. So I now have a keep. It's actually a good chance I can show you a few of the heroes. So we'll first get Budo. Budo is one of my favorite heroes to get first, is the Serpent, for one reason. Oh, under attack again. I should be able to repel this pretty casually. At this stage, I have an army that's just strong enough. I don't know why all my forces aren't going in. I think the enemy's dropped a smoke bomb. Yeah, right there, you can see. That smoke's actually stopping my units from going in. Unfortunately, my geishas are keeping everyone in good health, and now that I've stopped him, he'll stop using the smoke. Smoke can actually be very deadly, as you can see, just based off, it's basically plays on the unit AI.
In the plan.
Like with the blindness of the tower, really. These blinding effects usually rely on the tower
Follow the serpent.
doing something silly,
Yes,
the tower or the unit doing something silly, like not chasing targets. It relies on the player not being actively involved.
Yes, sir.
But fortunately, an attentive eye can just pick it up.
Very well.
I'll just send this guy away so the geishas stop healing him. I think I actually lost a geisha, so I'm going to get another one.
Of course, sir.
Alright, so I'll actually pick my geisha up. That's not her.
I
Heal
obey,
him,
my
please.
lord.
Thank you. What are you
Yes,
doing there?
sir.
Geisha. So I've got Budo. Budo does something cool. You put him near peasants, and he whips them into working faster. I actually have so many peasants working right now that I just don't need, so I'm going to
course,
send
sir.
them to become more units. How many people do I have to be collecting? At this stage in the game, you really don't need
Great haste.
all that many peasants collecting. You need about 3 peasants collecting rice, 1 peasant collecting food, and 1 peasant watering the rice, just to keep it consistently going. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split up my army. I'm going to split those and the geishas
For
away.
you, my lord.
So, what else to note? Using Budo's
Of course,
ability
sir.
actually hurts peasants. So if you're going to do this, make sure you leave a geisha around, or your peasants will eventually die, and if they get in red health, that's even worse. But generally, if you can stay on top of your resources, you won't need it that much. Next, I'll take Utara. She's a very good hero to have in combat,
Only
because she
for
stops
you.
enemies from attacking. I definitely prefer her to Shinja or Vetkin, especially Vetkin. Vetkin's main claim is that he he runs really quickly and can drain enemy stamina. Just need to quickly Grab my units.
All in the
And here comes the enemy. So I'm gonna... Oh, they popped the mine. I think they've popped my other mine long since.
I see.
So just gonna order my geisha to go in. Oh, I'm actually getting really hurt. I think, yeah, that was unfortunate of a fight, but overall it worked out. I had Utara in there. So Utara's main trick is when she hits an enemy, it stuns them, and where she sings, it hurts nearby enemies. At the cost of her stamina. But that's okay, because she's meant to be your lead fighter type person. So I'm just going to grab these guys like I was trying to, set them to that, march these zombies off,
I obey.
march my geisha away.
Lord.
So,
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to get that upgrade. Actually, no, I'll get the damage upgrade. You can just come join the army. Shift. Oh, yep. Okay. So if you want to, I definitely recommend putting units in control groups like this. Need to summon my spectral spirit warriors again. Pop. And what's up here? Oh, just the zombies. Almost looks like they found a fight. This is actually quite a pleasant map to just look at. There's all little things just lying around. Shows that the team just had an artistic direction when they were making this game. You can really see it. The game's full of flavor and life like that. I really do enjoy playing this game. I just can't help but recommend it. So now that I'm all geared up, I have a full army. I'm just going to add these guys to group 1. I'm going to start marching for the enemy, and I'm going to try and win.
Yes,
I believe
master.
with the combined forces, I should be able to do
Very
it.
well.
I have a large army. I'm also going to show you my tactics. Oh, shoot.
Off our land.
Almost sent a peasant to go fight. Climb out of the tower, please, hurry. I'm not even going to bother saving that tower. I'm just going to go with the game.
You insist.
I think I can. However, hopefully that tower won't set other towers on fire.
Like the wind.
So these guys can just stand here
Like a
defending. Oh,
bullet.
they set a building on fire. That's always what you have to be careful of. Oh, no, it's fine.
Great haste.
Back to water.
Of course.
And there it goes. And it's set this on fire. Is that a
Yes,
threat?
my lord.
Put that out.
Very well.
So as you can see, I've got my mixed units in. I've got my main bulk of my army, all my melee guys set to 1.
As you
They will be doing most of my fighting and most of
well.
my dying. Oh, something's still on fire there. It's been put out. Always watch your
I
minimap.
follow the
Always
serpent.
pay attention.
Okay,
So group 2 will just be...
right now.
Group 2 will actually be what I control the most of. They will
course,
literally
sir.
just be my group to run around, cause havoc.
Yes,
I will leave the
master.
others just fighting to their own devices. I'm not actually as skilled as I would like to be enough to micromanage,
You
but
insist.
we'll just see how this attack goes. There's no ramp here. I think it looks like a slight hill, maybe a small range bonus, but I don't believe so.
Okay.
So
Can I
the fight
burn
started.
something?
Yes.
I'm just
Lord.
going to rush my raiders down here. Just going to run them over.
For you,
Hurry up and get there in their geisha. Set that on fire. Set another building on fire. And as you can see, things are just catching on fire everywhere. I don't need to pay much attention. I just run through, drop fire, and run off. I do wait until they're fully flaming. I don't. I want them to be fully flaming so they take the most damage. As you can see, these things are just dropping so much in health.
Try not to get burned. Fun with
It makes
fire.
a really big difference to just wait that little bit extra time. Also, if you let them get to that level of fire, they spit off little bits of fire, as you can see, flying everywhere, that do that little bit extra damage and can just set other buildings on fire.
Oh yes, going. Okay.
Because raiders are so fast, I've just managed to run through their entire base, setting everything on fire. There is no chance they have to fight this off. The game's basically won. So I'll just let the cleanup crew go through, while I just burn things with my raiders. Good times.
Yes, sir. Great haste.
Always be mindful of your geishas, they're some of your most important units in the game. Or that upgrade is too invaluable. So now that I've shown off the Serpent Clan, I will probably try and show off the other clans. I also have done a comparison video with the help of my brother, and hopefully I'll get some help with him on the commentary, and you'll get to see some of the differences between the Dragon and the Serpent Clan in action, like which units are stronger and things like that. One day I will do the abilities for each unit on each team, but for now I think I'm done. I hope you liked this video. Please feel free to comment on, tell me anything I can improve on, and I thought this has been a really good fun. Hope you enjoyed.